Okay, so it's Wednesday evening, it's 7 o'clock here in Norway, and I'm back doing my weekly Facebook Live. So let me just see that everything is in place. It looks like it live. So let me just, yeah. Okay, so I'm very excited tonight. I haven't done the live last week, but the week before and all of October. And I know that we got quite a few new followers on our Facebook page. So for those of you who are new to Nordic Dog Trainer, please introduce yourself if you want to in the comments. Those of you who have been following us for a while, you know that I love to hear where you are because we're such an international community, and I just love the way that you're interacting during these lives. So I am Lisbeth. I'm the founder of Nordic Dog Trainer, and Nordic Dog Trainer is located in Norway, here in Scandinavia. And we do online courses on the internet, so we reach pretty much everyone. Currently, we've had people from more than 52 countries, no, more than 50, so 50-something countries on our dog trainer school, which is amazing. And I can see that Robert is here in Austria, Ingrid is in South Carolina, the US, Marion is here as well from Austria. Thank you so much for joining. Christine is here from Belgium. Sandra is also here from Austria. Lots of Austrians tonight. That's nice. Okay, so just some practical information before I start to talk about this evening's topic, which is dog parks, by the way. We have Monica in the US and Alessandra in Belgium. Thank you for introducing yourself in the comments. And don't be shy. If you're new to us, please write something in the comments. It's a very friendly community. So I've decided for the first time to do a Christmas calendar, Christmas Advent calendar. I don't know what you call it in your country, but in Norway we call it Christmas calendar. Some places it's Advent calendar, or even both, Christmas Advent calendar. So we have more than 6,000 people signed up for this Christmas calendar in just 1 week, which is amazing. Really, I did not even imagine this high number. So 6,000 people and counting have signed up already, and I'm very excited about this calendar. So just to make it clear, this is an online calendar, so it's not something that we are sending you in the mail. We've got a few questions about that. It's not something you can touch. It's an online calendar. And what we'll do is that we start the 1st of December and all the way until the 24th of December. In Norway, we celebrate Christmas on the 24th, by the way. That's when we unwrap the presents and, you know, have the whole Christmas thing going on. From the 1st until the 24th of December, you will get an email with a reminder every day from me telling you the topic. And we are busy recording everything now. And I have some amazing guests. I'm so happy. Amber Batson, a British veterinarian, she said immediately, yes, I want to do this. Julia Robertson from Gall Myotherapy is also a guest. And I think, Ingrid, you might have heard the news as well, that your nice colleague Pilly in the States is also going to be a guest. So we have, Robert is also coming, I think. Yes. We have some interesting topics for you. It's going to be short talks, 10 to 15 minutes. I'm going to try and keep it short, at least. I'm not very good with that, but we'll try and keep it short. And I promise you, it's all going to be useful for you as a dog caretaker. Yeah, so it's going to be practical practical training advice, practical advice you can use immediately after you hear about them. You can start using them. The hand signal, the attention sound, splitting, you know, all of the things that we incorporate in our command-free, I add, dog training. Turid Rugaas, the author of On Talking Terms with Dogs. If you've heard about calming signals in dogs, this is your woman. She is the author of the book On Talking Terms with Dogs. She's the one that first sat down and did thousands of hours observing dogs and their language, their body language, and she wrote it down, her studies, and that's her book. So if you heard about calming signals, this is the lady that started the whole thing back in the 90s. And she's also going to do the Christmas calendar. So she will be one of my guests. And you will see a lot more of me. I'm doing most of them. So it's amazing, isn't it, Monica and Ingrid as well? Yeah, very much looking forward to that. I also, last night, actually, I have on my notebook here that I decided it's a lot of work, but I love to interact with you. The fact that we can do this online is really nice, but it's even better if we can interact. So I have decided to make a Facebook group for the Christmas calendar where I will be answering your questions during live Q&As. So if you watch the daily tips and advice we get in the Christmas calendar, you can actually come to our Facebook page and I will do some Q&As. Not every day though, not every day. And I promise you, I know when we have ads going about things like this, a lot of people are very skeptical, which is a good thing to be, by the way. Do be skeptical to everything. But this is, and I'm sure that those of you already introduced yourself in the chat here can agree when I say that this is for real. Yeah, we are not trying to trick you into anything. We have your email address, so we'll send you the calendar every day. If you do not want to receive any emails from Nordic Dog Trainer, if you think it's too much or if it's just not for you, then you can unsubscribe at any time. And we're not going to sell you anything during this Christmas calendar. It's not about trying to get you to buy any of our products or anything. It's really for free, because my main goal, what I really want to do, is to help as many dogs as possible. Yeah. So that's why after 11 years of having this business, Nordic Dog Trainer, I'm fortunate to have so many good teachers, mentors, students that can help us to do this. All the guests of our Christmas calendar, in our Christmas calendars, also doing this for free. So we are not charging for anything, and I'm not paying anyone to do this for us. So we just do it because we want to help dogs, and you, of course. Okay. You hear how excited I am? I think this is a good idea. I probably don't know how much work it is, but come back to me later, the 27th of December, and see how I feel. I might regret the whole thing. Christine is writing, a real Christmas gift to you and your dog. Exactly. And that's what we want it to be. Okay. So tonight, I want to talk about dog parks. It's amazing how many topics we can actually find sometimes I do struggle a little bit, like what should I talk about today? Because all of October, I was online here every day to do a live Facebook talk. For those of you who are new, again, if you go to our Facebook page, right at the top where the menu is, you can click on videos, or you can click on lives, and then all our recordings are there. So I've been doing this for a couple of years now, every once in a week going live. And then sometimes we do it more often. So there's a lot of free resources here, right here on our Facebook page. And if you go to our web page, nordicdogtrainer.com, you see in the menu that it says free resources, and you even get more if you go to our webpage, more free resources. So we have quite a lot of free stuff for you. Do we get these emails automatically, or do we have to register somewhere? If you register for the Christmas calendar, you get them. You have to be registered, because I can't send, actually I can't send it to anyone if I don't know if you're registered. And here in Europe, specifically for Europe, and this goes out to everyone, you have to know this, that in Europe we have extremely strict laws when it comes to sending out emails. We are not allowed to send emails to anyone who did not ask for it. So if you get an email from Nordic Dog Trainer, look at right at the bottom of each email, it says why you got the email. We use an expensive but very good automated system, which will then tell you exactly what you signed up for, when you signed up for it. And next to it, it's an unsubscribe button as well, if you don't want to receive anymore. And this is by law. Okay, so when you sign up for the calendar, you also have to remember to tick off the box saying, yes, I want to receive emails. I see, unfortunately, some people forget that. I wrote it in the registration form in red to remind people. But if you forget to do that, we can't send you any emails. We're not allowed to. So the laws are strict, which again is good for us, for all of us, in this strange internet world. Ellen, if you go on our Facebook page here now, if you scroll down a little bit, there is a post about the Christmas calendar. And I will make sure to post it here in the comments when we've finished with the live as well. And I will regularly, until the 1st of December, post it here on our Facebook page. And I will send an email to people who are on our email list and who has agreed to receive emails to remind you. So we'll make sure that you don't miss it. Okay, you can also sign up after it started, of course, but better to be, there from the beginning. Okay, enough. Christmas is coming up soon, so let's talk about dog parks now. There will be enough Christmas talk later in a couple of weeks. So tell me in the comments, how many of you are frequently using dog parks, and why do you go to dog parks? Dog parks are getting more and more popular also here in Norway, and they have some good things about them and some not so good things about them. So let's talk about that, so we all know what and why we're doing it. Sabina never goes to dog park. Okay, anyone else who uses dog parks? Ingrid says, don't use them, only go to observe dogs. It's an excellent place to go and observe dogs. Actually, Mark Beckhoff wrote a whole book about observing dogs in dog parks. Nadia never goes to dog parks. Ellen hardly goes. Monica, I go when they're empty, just for sniffing. Christina, don't, even if I 1, 2, my dog's uncomfortable there. Michael never. Yeah. Okay. So from the comments here, most of you are not going. Marion will try for the first time tomorrow. Okay. So let me say something good about dog parks. Okay, I want to start with the good stuff, because it's getting a reputation as not a good place to be, which we'll later discuss why. But don't forget, it's also good things about dog parks. Now, I know a lot of you are not from Europe or from Scandinavia. It's different in all countries, of course, depending on where you live. But in countries where we mostly have dogs as our pets, so we walk them on leash, the trend is that it's getting more and more strict on where we can walk our dogs off leash. So for that purpose, it's good to have dog parks, right? Please note that I'm saying dog parks, and I'm not mentioning who's in the dog park, okay? Because that's my next thing. Dog parks are absolutely perfect, great, actually fantastic if you have a big fenced area where you can have your dog off leash. But the absolutely best thing would be if you can be there by yourself or with your dog's friends. Yeah, your dog's dog friends. Not an open, not during, happy hour when everyone is coming and you don't know the other dogs. So I wouldn't take my dog to a dog park where I don't know the other dogs. However, if I knew the other dogs and I knew that my Wilma liked them and were friends with them, it's a perfect place. Do we agree? Likes, hearts, no? Angry faces, maybe? I don't know. What do you think? Makes sense, right? So do not be all negative to the dog parks as such, as a park, as a place where we can have fenced, safe areas for our dogs to be off leash, because that is important. At Nordic, we talk a lot about dogs, walking our dogs on leash. We talk a lot about reactivity on leash, everything that's happening on leash, right? So it's so important. The best thing is always for dogs to be off leash. That's always the optimal best thing, right? So to have places where you can maybe even schedule an hour or 30 minutes or whatever for you, for your dog, and maybe possibly another couple of dogs that, are your dog's friends. This is a great opportunity, a dog park. I know some of my colleagues here in Norway, she's a former student at a Norwegian dog trainer school. She managed to start a dog park in a town in Norway with an enriched environment, with a permanent enriched environment. She worked, through the people in the town hall and stuff, but she got funding for it, and it's perfect. Yeah. So dog parks is not such a bad idea. And also, I almost forgot to say that, yes, walking on leash, we may walk our dogs on leash most of the time, but it's so important that they do get to run freely when they choose to. And I know if you're new to Nordic, please go ahead and watch all our free lectures here on our Facebook page, or join. We have a 5-day 5-day free course that we did on Facebook a few years ago about walking our dogs. We are talking a lot about walking slowly with our dogs when they're on leash, but we are definitely not against dogs running, right? So it's all about choice. If you take your dog for a walk in the woods and he or she is allowed off leash, then you can see their natural way of moving. They run a bit, they trot a bit, they walk a bit, you know? So it's all about choices. So running next to a bike because you have to run next to a bike is no good. Walking slowly on leash because you're not allowed to do anything else but to walk slowly all the time is not good. So it has to be a variation. And all, of course, always then by choice. It's always the best thing. Okay. Alice is saying we have Spotify in the US where we can rent space all over through an app. That sounds great. That's perfect. Okay. Okay. I have a feeling that this Facebook Live is going to be a little bit more than 30 minutes today, so please bear with me. I'm going to share my little PowerPoint, which is my sheet. This is so difficult to say. Cheat sheet, that's what they call it. Yeah. I have some notes, so I remember what to talk about. Okay. So now when you see the slides, you just need to know that I don't see your comments, but it's just 10 slides or something. And then I'll be back and we can, you know, do some discussing or agreeing or disagreeing. Okay, pros and cons of dog parks. So why do we visit a dog park? I think mainly for these reasons. We want to socialize our dog, maybe even want to socialize ourselves a bit. We want to exercise our dog and think that maybe, you know, running around with other dogs is good exercise. Some people think of it as mental stimulation. For some people, it's an important part of their own community, the two-legged community where they are meeting their friends. It's, you know, off-leash play. For a lot of people, that is important. And for diverse environments, so different environments, going to a new place. And I'll come back to these reasons at the end of my PowerPoint. So now I'm going to talk about why we should really consider not visiting a dog park. And this is important, not visiting a dog park if there's other dogs you don't know. Yeah. So first of all, there's safety concerns. Dog parks can sometimes be unpredictable environments and not all dogs behave well or are well socialized. And this is what I see also from my work working with dogs and their caretakers is one of the bigger problems because you know how it is when you meet another dog owner, they say, oh, it's not a problem. My dog is such a nice dog. He's, you know, he's so kind. He's not aggressive. But can you trust the other person to know that? Do you know a stranger if they have the knowledge enough to read the calming and distance increasing signals of their dogs? What do you know about this person? Nothing. So do you want to trust him? I don't. I'm sorry, I don't. So people might think they know, but they don't. And also because for a lot of people, this is also socialization time for themselves. They're actually there talking to each other, letting their dogs run around off leash like crazy dogs and don't even watch what's going on. They don't observe what's going on. And or misinterpret interpretate. Sorry, that was a difficult word for me. Hopefully you understand what I mean. They don't understand the dog's calming signals. I can tell you that not all dogs that are running in the front is a happy dog. You know, if you see one dog being chased by the other dogs, this happens a lot, unfortunately, because there's a lot of people that they don't know this yet. I'm not saying that people are mean or anything. It's just, you know, a matter of, do you know it or don't you? So a lot of behavioral problems actually arise because of this type of socialization. It also happens in what you call it for dogs, daycare for dogs. You know, when you have a lot of dogs together, and the people that are caring for them or are supposed to observe and care for them don't have the knowledge enough to know what's going on there. So your dog can be bullied, or your dog could become a bullier. You know, if this is very typical, that a young dog, you know, they're like humans in that way. The people or the other dogs they hang with, that's how they kind of, you know, they socialize with. That's how they learn their behavior. So if your dog is hanging with the wrong crowd of other dogs, you can end up with the dog that is bullying other dogs. So a lot of these things actually do start in situations like this, in environments like this, where we don't have real control of what's going on. Yeah, basically lack of knowledge from a lot of, you know, different reasons. Also overcrowding, so popular dog parks can become crowded, leading to stressful interactions and potential conflicts among dogs and owners. And again, it's how the humans are handling the situation, because a lot of conflicts, a lot of dog fights can be completely avoided if we were acting the right way. And by that, I mean, you, for example, not interfering. A lot of the times, we, the humans, are the one that is unintentionally starting the fight, because we don't know what's going on. We don't know the dog's language. You know, you have a couple of dogs staring at each other. It's a tense situation. And then you go towards the dog and you go, stop it, you know, and already there, maybe the tension was so high and you were the one who kind of, you know, made it happen. Unintentionally, of course. That's why it's so important to know the dog's language. So again, I've said this a million times now, but if you are going to invest in one book, it should be the Talking Terms with Dogs, on Talking Terms with Dogs. And I know a lot of our students or teachers are here. Could you please help me and just post a link to Turid's book in the comments, and I would be very happy. Thank you. Okay, lack of control. You may have limited control over your dog in a dog park. And I'm nice here saying you may have, because the truth is you do have limited control. You have less control of your dog in a dog park, which can be problematic if your dog is being bullied or is the bully, or experiences something that might frighten him or her. And there is the noise and stress. Some dogs may find the dog park environment stressful due to the noise and commotion, and potentially leading to anxiety and fear. And, you know, this is, again, I'm coming back to the body language of dogs. Stress and anxiety. Dogs that are stressed, chronically stressed, or dogs that are fearful can and often will show body language that we confuse with a happy dog. For example, jumping, barking, acting all crazy. A lot of us think that, oh, it's just a happy dog, whereas in fact, the dog is stressed or even maybe fearful. And then we have the two-legged. I'm sorry, but I think we are causing a lot of problems, aren't we? Irresponsible and inattentive dog owners can contribute to problems at the park, such as not cleaning up after dogs or intervening in problematic behavior. So let's say that you know everything about the calming signals. You know your dog very well. You know the signals. You know how he or she behaves and so on. But how can you stop another person from interfering, for example, and giving your dog a bad experience? It's much more difficult in an environment like this when you don't know the other people and you want to avoid conflicts yourself, right? So this could be a problem as well. And of course, there are individual preferences. Not all dogs enjoy or benefit from dog parks. Some dogs are naturally more introverted or maybe even anxious and may not thrive in a busy and social environment. And is it really social though? And I think I've had a couple of lies about this before, because being social is about being with people you know, okay? So coming back to my first page, we are visiting dogs parks to socialize, exercise, maybe even mental stimulation, community for us, off-leash play, and diverse environments. And this is what you can do instead. You can rent the park and do this in the park with your dog and your dog friends, because I just need to say this first very quickly. Socialization is about being with other people for us or other dogs for our dogs that we like being with, that we feel comfortable being with. And this is very important, because I remember I learned in the 80s and 90s as well, I learned, to socialize my puppy. I should take him everywhere and meet and greet all kinds of people on the street and so on. But now we know better. This is not proper socialization. When you go down a busy road Saturday morning or just before Christmas, and you bump into a lot of people, you might even say, excuse me, sorry, these kind of things, but you don't know them. That is not socialization. Socialization is to go try and make your way through the crowd to get to the cafe where you're supposed to meet your two good friends, right? The cafe with your two good friends is your socialization. Same thing with dogs. So you can do social walks with dog friends. And I know, sorry about the capital letters, but I want to emphasize how important that is. Exercise is through social walk with dog friends. And a social walk can be done off leash and on leash. Yeah. Mental stimulation is enriched environments. Take your dog to a dog park when there are no other dogs. There are lots of interesting smells, but there are enriched environment can also be just a different environment from where you usually walk your dog. So if you go twice a week to a new place to walk your dog, that's enrichment. If you now, go the same route every day, 3 times a day, it's a bit boring, isn't it, for the dog, maybe even for you. So don't be afraid to take your dog different places. You can do that together with other dog friends or alone, with the dog alone. And for the community, then, you're welcome to join our community. We have free Facebook page, a group, it's called Nordic Dog Trainer Insider, or other platforms online or offline where you can discuss dogs with other people without having to have your dog there, as you know, in the dog park. And off-leash play. Off-leash, like I said in the beginning, is important, but play, that depends on the dog. Play is not something that every dog is doing. And adult dogs, if they don't play, that's normal behavior. Again, we have several talks about this here on our webpage. So if you go to videos and recordings, you'll find some of them. So being off-leash is something you can do with other dog friends. And for diverse environments, you can build your own enriched environment at home, inside your small flat, doesn't have to be big, inside or outside, on your balcony or in your garden, if you have a garden, or anywhere. If you're lucky and you have a sensory garden for dogs nearby, then take him there. So all of these benefits, socialization, exercise, mental stimulation, community, off-leash, and diverse environments, is something we can do in a better way than having your dog in an environment with a lot of dogs he don't know and where you don't have control of the situation, and probably not your dog either. Okay. Yes. So that was my little PowerPoint. Let me see. I think we got the links from Monica. She posted on Talking Terms with Dogs. Thank you very much. Okay. Been talking for 40 minutes now. Any comments, any questions as such? What I am, Ellen is writing, what I'm wondering about is where to start if your dog is new in the neighborhood and you do not know which dogs are going to be friends. That's a good question. It's not up to me to decide my dog, which dogs are going to be friends, unfortunately. So how do you find out who's going to be a friend? Good question. How can we find out? If you know someone with another dog, go for a walk on leash, for a slow, nice, sniffy walk. You know what I mean, Ellen? And I know you've been doing our courses. So go for a nice stroll on a long leash with some distance and just see how they get on. And this is something you might have to do with several dogs. Maybe we should start something called dog dating or something. Yeah. So you need to try out different ones to see what they like. So I remember as well that, before, again, this is like 20, 30 years ago, it was very normal to be angry with dogs if they didn't like other dogs, which is crazy. We know better now that dogs are like us. Some dogs they enjoy being with, some they tolerate, and some they don't like for whatever reason. And they don't talk, so we won't really know why. But most dogs and most people, we like each other, So finding another dog friend doesn't have to be very difficult. Most dogs like each other. So yes, I would definitely just start with a walk together. Walk with one other dog. If we talk about social walks like we do the Nordic way, is to walk just a very few dogs at a time. You start with 2 dogs, obviously not 1, because then it's really not social. So 2, and then 3, and then 4, and maybe 5. Not 20, 30, 40 dogs. That's overwhelming. That's a huge party. You're not socializing with 40 people in a party. You socialize with a few of them. So, yeah. Or, you could even go to a dog park without your dog and start chatting to people. Observe. Someone said earlier in the comments that they like to observe dogs in a dog park, which is great. And then maybe you can pick out a couple of dogs and their caretakers and say, hey, that could be a nice fit for my dog. You want to go on a walk together? Yeah. I think Silke, she's a graduate of the dog trainer school in Austria. Not sure if you're here now, but you wrote a comment earlier today about this live, because I know Silke is doing a great job in her town, her city in Austria, where she's actually offering talks in dog parks. And also, I think, even enriched environments and so on. So, okay. I know, Monica, they go very fast, my talks. And today I was talking pretty fast as well, I think, because a lot of energy today. Haven't been live for 2 weeks, so then I'm, Okay, so thank you very much for being here, taking the time to listen. And hopefully I gave you something to think about, to consider. And again, I will post the link to the Christmas calendar when we finished with the live. And I'll be back next Wednesday at 7 o'clock Central European time. And we do get quite a few emails from our followers asking us what time it is in their time zone. They live in different countries and different time zones. I don't know. I Google. So if you are in a different time zone than Central European time zone, the best thing is to Google. We always write the times Central European time, because that's where Norway is. And Central European time is the same as Paris and Vienna and that sort of thing. I think it's GMT. Is it a British general mean time or something? +1. that's what I know. But we also get a bit confused when we change from winter time to summertime and all of this. So check Google. Google is your friend. Okay. Thank you very much for being here tonight. And I'll see you next Wednesday. Okay. Bye.